Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Sunil Dutt, working as Assistant Professor of Physics at Department of Science and Technology of Faculty of Education and Methodology, Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Topic of my today's session is Newton's rings and the expression for the diameter of the Newton's rings. So, we're starting. You can see over here. So here you can see the diagram for the Newton's rings experiment. So as you know, Newton's rings, when a plano-convex lens of large radius of aperture is placed on a plain glass plate with convex surface in contact, a thin film between the lower surface of the lens and the upper surface of glass plate is formed. The thickness of this film is very small or nearly zero at the contact point and gradually increases from contact point towards outwards. So when a monochromatic light falls on the film, we get dark and bright concentric circular fringes having uniform thickness. These rings were first investigated by Newton and therefore are called Newton's rings. So uh, here I have shown the setup for the Newton's rings diagram. So here you can see that according to this figure, we have a source placed at point S, which is a monochromatic source of light, and this source is placed at the focus of lens L. So when any source is placed at the focal point of a source, so here you can see the source is placed here, and this is the lens. So when this source will be placed at the focal point of this lens, so after this, the light rays will go parallel, means coming from infinity, and then we have a glass plate which is kept at an angle of 45 degree with respect to the horizontal. Okay, so light rays will be reflected. We have named this glass plate at G, and this beam is partially reflected from glass plate G. This reflected beam fall normally on the lens L, another lens which is a plano-convex lens placed on the glass plate capital E. So then interference occurs between the rays reflected from the upper and lower surfaces of the film. So interference rings are seen with the help of lower power microscope M, which will be placed above the glass plate G. The fringes are circular because the air film is symmetrical about the point of contact with lens and glass plate. So we can obtain an expression for the condition of the maxima and minima. So you know that as shown in the figure, rays 1 and 2 are reflected, uh, interfering rays corresponding to incident ray SP. So now the effective path difference between rays 1 and 2 is given as delta is equal to 2 mu t cos r plus theta plus lambda by 2. So as we have discussed in our another session, in which we have obtained an expression of for path difference in case of a wave shaped thin film. So from that practice or the that session, we have the expression for the path difference, which is given by delta is equal to 2 mu t cos r plus theta lambda by 2. Okay. So here you know that this is the refractive index of the medium, and t is the thickness of the wave shaped thin film. And what happens when these rays are falling normally? So here you can see in the figure, the rays are normal to the wave-shaped thin film. So in that case, when the rays are falling normally, the angle of incidence, which is denoted here by small r, is 0. And theta will be very, very small because this thin film is negligibly small. Okay. So in that case, what we take cos r plus theta equal to 1, because the value of r plus theta will be equal to 0. So since the value of cos 0 is 1, so here you can write simply delta is equal to 2t plus minus lambda by 2. Okay. So if we talk about the central ring, so for central ring at that point, since the planoconvex lens is touching with the glass plate, so there is no existence of air film or the thin film. So at the point of contact, the thickness of the film is 0. Therefore, this expression will be the expression for path difference. Delta will be equal to simply lambda by 2. And when the path difference is odd multiple of lambda by 2, this is the condition of destructive interference. So for destructive interference, we have dark fringe. And since here uh, this ring, these fringes will be circular in nature, so we will have a dark spot at the center or at the point where the plano-convex lens will touch with the glass plate. Okay, so if we take the another case, in the case when the path difference of bright fringes, so for the case of bright fringes, we must have constructive interference, and we know for the case of constructive interference, the path difference should be even multiple of lambda by 2. So in that case, delta will be equal to 2n times lambda by 2, or we can simply write delta is equal to n times lambda. Okay. So here we can modify this expression. Means, so this will be simply delta is equal to n times lambda. Okay, and if uh, we replace this value, so then we will having the expression delta is equal to 2t plus minus lambda by 2. This we have obtained expression in case of a V-shaped thin film in case of Newton's rings. So when we combine this equation, when we replace the value of delta equal to 2t plus minus lambda by 2 in this above expression, which is delta is equal to n lambda, we will having the expression which is 2t plus minus lambda by 2 is equal to n lambda. So when we take the lambda terms on the right hand side, we will be having 2t is equal to n lambda plus minus lambda by 2, or 2t is equal to 2n times plus minus lambda by 2. So this will be the condition for the bright fringes. So if you want to calculate the path difference for dark fringes, so in case of dark fringes, the condition is that the path difference should be odd multiple of lambda by 2. So this condition we can write in mathematical form as delta is equal to 2n plus 1 times lambda by 2. So here we also replace the value of delta from equation 1, which is delta is equal to 2t plus minus lambda by 2 equal to 2n times lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2. So after solving it for means after rearranging the terms for lambda, we will be having expression like 2t is equal to n lambda. So this will be the condition, and there is one another condition. If we take a positive value of lambda, the expression will be 2t is equal to n plus 1 lambda. So after this, what we do, we you can check in the notes. I have given a figure. In this figure, you can see what we have done. We have extrapolated the circle from where uh, this plano convex lens is cut. So what we do, we complete the hollow sphere from which this piece of plano convex lens is cut. So here you can see, okay, so this is the plain glass plate which is put under the plano convex lens. The way-shaped air film is formed somewhere over here, and this is the plano convex lens. So what we do, we extrapolate it over this here, and we consider that the radius of this hollow sphere or the solid sphere is equal to capital R. And uh, we have taken 3 points M and at Q, and the thickness at this particular point N becomes equal to 2, and this point N is at a distance small x from the center of the plano convex lens, or you can say the point of contact of plano convex lens and the glass plate. So if this is the radius capital R, so from here this the diameter of this sphere will be equal to 2R. So since the distance from here to here is uh, T, and this distance is 2R. So distance from here to here will be 2R minus T. And from here to here, if we consider this is the radius of the circular ring which will be formed over here, we take as Rn. Okay. So as from here you can see, so what we have assumed, we have taken QO prime is equal to OO prime minus the OQ, and since OO prime is equal to 2R, so QO prime will be equal to 2R minus 3. And from the geometry of the figure, we know that QM into QN will be equal to QO prime into OQ. So from here we get R square is equal to 2 times capital R minus T into the thickness of the film at that point. So this will be equal to a small t. So we will be having R square is equal to 2 capital R into T minus T square. Since T is a small value in comparison of capital R, so we can neglect the term of T square. So after neglecting the terms of T square, we have a small R square is equal to 2 times capital R into T, or we can simply write small t is equal to small r square upon 2r, where r is the radius of curvature of the plano convex lens, and small r is the radius of the ring at the point which is formed at the point N. So if we this is the condition for dark fringes. For bright fringes, the condition was 2t is equal to 2n minus plus 1 times lambda by 2. And if we replace the value of t over here, so from here 2r square upon 2r will be equal to 2n plus minus 1 times lambda by 2. So 2 to 2 will be cancelled out. We will be having simply the r square. So r square will be equal to 2n plus minus 1 times lambda r divided by 2. And if we put a suffix n with the radius, so here the Rn square will be equal to n plus minus 1 by 2 times lambda r. So this is the expression for the radius of the nth bright ring. So we know that the diameter of a ring becomes equal to the 2 times of the radius of the ring. So we can simply write dn is equal to 2 times Rn. Or if we replace the value of Rn over here, so means we can simply write dn by 2 to the power square will be equal to n plus minus 1 by 2 into lambda r, or dn square upon 4 will be equal to n plus minus 1 by 2 into lambda r. Tn square is equal to 4 will be moved to that side and 2 will be taken common. So this will be 2 times inside bracket 2n plus minus 1 lambda r. And if we take simply the expression for Tn, so this will be equal to square root of 2 times 2n plus minus 1 times lambda r. So this will be the diameter of the nth right ring. So if we move back to the previous expression, which was 2t is equal to n lambda, and the value of t we have calculated as r square, small r square upon 2 times capital R. If we replace it over here, so this will be 2r n square upon 2r into n lambda. Okay. So 2 to 2 will be cancelled out. So it will be simply r square n will be equal to n times lambda r, or r for dark fringes, which is now denoted over here as rd, will be proportional to root n lambda r. So this will be the radius of nth dark ring. So as discussed in the previous case, the diameter of the nth dark ring, if we denote it by d with the suffix small d, so d with small d will be equal to 2 times r d, where rd is the diameter of the nth dark ring. So we can replace the value of rd in terms of diameter. So this will be equal to dd by 2 square will be equal to n times lambda r, or dd square upon 4 will be equal to n lambda r, or dd will be equal to square root of 4n lambda r. So this will be the expression for the nth dark ring. Okay. So this I think this will be, we can discuss one more case, which is the Newton's ring by transmitted light. So for that case, for bright ring, the delta will be equal to 2n times lambda by 2, or delta is equal to n lambda. And for dark ring, delta will be equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, or 2t is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. So in this case, the radius of bright ring will be equal to r square is equal to 2 times capital R into t, or small t will be equal to small r square upon 2r. So putting this value in equation 1, we will be having 2 small r square upon 2 times capital R will be equal to n lambda, or small r square will be equal to n times lambda r, or rn is equal to square root of n lambda r. Or simply we can write for the diameter. So for diameter, it will be dn by 2. 2 will be moved to the right side. So expression will be dn is equal to 2 times the square root of n lambda r. Okay. So this is the expression for the bright ring. If we go to the radius of dark ring, so for that case, for dark ring, the path difference should be odd multiple of lambda by 2. So its condition will be 2t is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. After replacing the value for t, we will be having 2r square upon 2r is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, or r square is equal to 2n plus 1 r lambda by 2. Or we can say r is equal to square root of r times 2n plus 1 lambda divided by 2. So this is all about the experiment of Newton's ring. So this experiment is also a lab practice for the BSc optics courses. And there are several applications of Newton's rings experiment through which we can determine the wavelength of a source of a source of unknown wavelength, and we can also determine the refractive index of a medium in which the setup is placed. So this we will discuss in our next video. Thank you very much.